What's good, y'all? It's Drew here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the One Piece chapter 1017, so we can get right into it. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more NAMI counseling if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the bell notification too, because you know YouTube be trying to play with us. Obviously, for the bell notification, don't forget to have it set to all instead of personalized, because that's a whole weird thing. But we're going to get right into it with the question today. Question today is obviously, what was your favorite part of the chapter? For me, it was definitely finding out who's connection to the Gomu Gomu no Mi. I feel like that was such a big deal. So we start out with who's who and jimbei, and I think for the longest I've always talked about how I thought the jimbei who's who thing was the most interesting to me, because I've wanted to scale jimbei for a while now, since like Marineford, and who's who is I thought was a kind of weak character to scale him to. I always felt like that was kind of slander on jimbei's name, but I mean we learned a lot about who's who, but we actually have we get like little glimpses around the different fights. So we get a little flash of Frankie. We see the fight with Jack that's going on. We see Tama. We know Tama's doing her role. I don't really want to speak too much on Tama because she did do some so cool stuff this chapter, but like there's other more important things I think I should tackle. Quickly touching on Tama though. Tama basically gets to the top of like the platform and just lets everyone know that Luffy and Momo are pulling up. And as we see that, we actually see a scene of some of Law's crew actually being useful for the first time ever. And they're like giving Luffy CPR, yeah. So they're bringing him. So we can expect Luffy to pull up at some point. We knew that Yamato wasn't going to hold Kaido out for much longer, so that's good. We see all the gifters and all the people that are under Tama's control helping out the tide of the war. For instance, I think they help Frankie. So we go to Queen and we go to Sanji. Queen, Sanji, Nami, Usopp, that whole squad. And Queen's kind of annoyed at Tama. He's like, bro, what is she doing? Like, he's about to take care of her. And obviously Sanji pull up, like how Sanji do to save the day. And basically, don't forget about that fight. That's another fight that's like a really big deal. It's not like, especially after this chapter, to me it's not #1 priority, but it's up there. We need to see Sanji going crazy, especially with Zoro and Luffy and doing what they did. Because it looks like as of this chapter, both of them boys gonna come back. So like, you know what I'm saying. Adding on to, I think people were talking about how Queen was gonna be Sanji's opponent because of the connection with Judge. He calls Sanji Judge's son, and we know Sanji don't mess with Judge at all. So he's like, don't call me that. And we get some more deposition about them. Yeah, we find out that Judge was a part of something called MAD, which they don't go into too much of the details, but we know that it turned into a cyborg, and we see his hybrid form, which I think that was a big surprise as well. Like he has a hybrid form, you can see like the dinosaur head, right, and you can see his big Queen's body, and his little sword or a big blade. So that's a thing going on. So hopefully during the fight with Queen and Sanji, that's something we get to learn more about. Hopefully we'll see more about that connection. We might get a flashback or something, but that's not #1 priority right now. So we go to Chopper, and Chopper's talking about how he can save or heal Zoro from his injuries using whatever the minks did to heal, which I can't even remember. One of y'all could probably let me know in the comments down below. But he says that it'll cause like Zoro double pain after he's healed. But obviously, like, it doesn't matter, bro. We're literally at war. Like Zoro's like top 4. Whoever you have Zoro in your fighting force, he's top tier. So we need a top tier fighter, another one. So that's gonna be interesting. Shout out Chopper. Chopper's having a lot of doctor-like feats, because you forget that he's a doctor sometimes, because we don't really see the feats in that sense. So it's great seeing Chopper do things that a doctor on the One Piece crew or in the One Piece verse should do. So it's good seeing that. We go to who's who and jimbei, which I think is probably the most interesting part of the chapter, because they're going at it and stuff. And I immediately like almost was taken aback when I saw the Tempest kick, because I was like, Tempest kick, that seems like I know that from somewhere, bro. I'm talking about Water 7 all the time. Like, I peeped that. And jimbei peeps it immediately too. He's like, bro, he uses the 6 powers. Like, that's immediately something that jimbei peeps. So when we first saw who's who, when he said that he knew jimbei, most people assumed that it was because of Marineford. Some, because we know jimbei was in Marineford, and this who's who guy is a pirate, so we can assume there was something there. And I was really interested in it as well. So finding out he's a rogue CP9 agent, immediately you're gonna think, what caused him to be rogue? Because like, I imagine CP9 agents are so strong that they're not gonna get put in jail for some weak thing. We saw Lucci had bodies on bodies on bodies. He's still not in any trouble. So what did who's who do to be a rogue, to be in prison? I'm assuming to breed Marineford. Maybe he broke out during Luffy's expedition to save Ace. And he reveals a couple things. First, we see he uses a technique that no 6 powers user has, which is, I think it was like he's an attack called Fang Pistol, which is very similar to I think it's like the Tempest kick or something. It's one of the variations, and Jimbei even knows like that's something that he's never seen. So this guy's clearly nice. And if and if you can't tell he's nice, he literally tells you like he was rivaling Lucci, which I mean we're so far past Water 7 that right now that's not crazy. But if you think about one, how crazy Lucci possibly is still, and you think about not only is he rivaling him back then, but there's a chance that he was growing at the same rate. Who could still be a threat. I mean, he's fighting Jimbei right now, and I think Jimbei's he's not some weak character. So we got to remember that him saying he rivaled Lucci, and I mean he's doing stuff that Lucci never did as well. So that this is a big deal. But Jimbei says basically like, I mean that was unfortunate that you're in jail, but that has nothing to do with me. And who's like, what do you mean it has nothing to do with you, bro? Like you're a Straw Hat pirate now, right? Yeah, because I got imprisoned for some reason. I think 12 years ago now, and 12 years ago is a random year to me. I'm like 12 years ago. Except you sort of remember like, okay, 2 years, that's time skip. 10 years. What happened 12 years ago? A certain rubber boy started his journey or got a straw hat. We're talking about Luffy. That's when Luffy got a straw hat. That's when they got the gomu no mi. All that stuff happened. That little scene. And we realized that he says he didn't peep it until a certain rubber boy basically started his voyage 2 years ago. And if you don't understand now, I'm gonna just let you know right now. He got basically the reason why he was in prison was because somehow, some way, he lost the gomu no mi, and they got into Shanks' hands, and that got into Luffy's hands. So I can imagine that's kind of insane. And I feel like that's the shocker for the episode, the chapter. Like the gomu no mi was stolen and it was eaten by Luffy, which that's like a big thing, because I remember for the longest time, you remember the theories of Roger and Luffy having the same fruit and stuff like that. That stuff, I think it's fair to say, maybe it's not, but I think it's fair to say that stuff's out the window now. But that brings up a lot of questions, like, bro, how did Shanks? I mean, Shanks is that man, so obviously he could do whatever he wants. But how did Shanks get his hand on that? It was stolen. Like, you tell me you in prison who's who because he got the fruits taken by like Shanks and the red hair crew. Like, it's a lot of things. Like, this is insane. I really want to see more about who's probably the most interesting character in Wado to me right now, just because him having a connection to a vague indirect connection to Shanks and Luffy. I mean, not many characters have that. So like, yeah, we're in for it for real. I hope that they transition to a Jimbei who's who fight, because that's probably the most interesting Straw fight in my opinion right now. Queen Sanji, that's cute, that's cool. Black Marine and Robin and Brooke, that's cool. Frankie, that's cool. But like this fight right now, it has the information that we need, information that we might need to know. But man, just so y'all need to let me know what y'all think about this, because I thought this is a big deal. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you made it to the end of the video, that means you're a real one. So comment down Sanji versus Queen, because that is something that if you didn't get to the end of the episode, there's no way you would comment that. So get on that. But thanks y'all. But peace.